Hey everyone. So today, I just wanted to talk about kind of what your exam's going to be on and do some review questions and the um, type of questions that could be on there. So let me share my screen. Okay. So the exam, like last time, will be available from Wednesday at around 8 or 9 a.m. until Sunday. It'll be due Sunday at midnight, just like last time. Won't accept any late exams. So, yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So, your exam consists of 4 parts. Okay, so this is Portfolio Quest 2. Okay, so there's 4 parts. The first part is fraction meanings. Okay. So this is identifying, representing, and comparing fractions. So something that could be on there is what is larger? 3/4 or 5/8. And you'll have to give 2 different strategies as to why this is true. One strategy could be, maybe you could draw your fraction bar. The other strategy could be doing 2 area models, however you want to do it, just 2 different strategies, okay? Another thing I could just ask you is give me some representations of, I'll say, give me representations of a half or something like that. And I could say, hey, use 2 different sizes of holes, right? So that could either be hey, look, this is a half. The other thing that's a half, well, that's a half, right? Those are both 1/2, but those are 2 different sizes. One of them I split into 2, the other I split into 4, stuff like that. Okay. So that's basically what the first part is. The second part is all about fraction operations. Okay. Fraction operations. Okay. Please note that fraction division is not on the quest. So you don't have to worry about doing fraction division for the portfolio quest. So things you have to do. Some example problems. You multiply 2 fractions. Multiply 8/9 times 5/6. Something like that. And I could ask you to do it using, I don't know, a unit square model. We did this. Okay. So using a unit square model. Another thing I could do is I could say, hey, estimate. I could ask you to estimate the range of, let's say, 5 1/3 plus, I don't know, 3 1/4. Okay, 5 1/3 plus 3 1/4, right? I can ask you to estimate this. Well, how do we estimate this? Well, I know 1/3 plus 1/4 is less than 1, but 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. So the range of this would be somewhere between 8 and 9. That could be the range, right? Something like that. So, and you'd have to actually be able to then actually calculate 5 1/3 plus 3 and 3 1/4. Something like this. Okay. So go back and rewatch some of those videos and make sure that you understand how to do this. And remember how we do this. We say, well, this is really 5 plus 3. We group the whole numbers. And then we group the fractions. And sometimes we have to borrow. Sometimes we have to do some exchanging, something like that. But for a third and a fourth, they need common denominators. So this is really 5 plus 3 plus the common denominator of 1/3 and 1/4, or of 3 and 4 is 12. So we're going to multiply this by 4/4. We're going to multiply this by 3/3. So this is 4/12 and 3/12. So this becomes 4/12 plus 3/12. So if I do this, add the whole numbers, I get 8. Add the fraction part, I get 12. So I get 8 and 7/12, something like that. Part 3 is fraction problem solving. Fraction problem solving. Okay. What is fraction problem solving? Fraction problem solving is, say, like, let's do part A. So these are like the word problems that are on activity 16, I think, right? So let's say I'm trying to say something like this. So I give you some box, and I'm going to cut this into like random pieces here, something like this or something like that, right? And I shade this, okay? And I ask you, okay, what fraction of the box is shaded? And let me make this shape a little better here for you. So like, what if I had something that looked like this? Something like this. And I shaded in like that. And I asked what fraction of that box is shaded, okay? Or I could say, hey, I'm planting like a garden, right? I'm gonna say I wanna use half the space for growing something, a tenth of the space to grow something else. And then the remaining part of my garden will be used for a third thing. How many square feet should be designated for this? So let me do this. So like, these are the word problems that are like on activity 16, okay? Section 4. Section 4 is just like last time. It's analyzing student work, okay? Analyzing student work. So that's, I'm going to give you a problem and some sample student work. I want you to answer the questions about what you thought the student understand. Did the student do the solution correctly? You know, did they document their work? Stuff like that. So that's analyzing student work. And that's it. That's all of the, that's your entire fraction quest. So just to kind of recap, you have to know like how to represent a fraction and the ways we did this. So that's the area model or the fraction bar. You have to be able to tell which fraction is larger or not, okay? You have to do some fraction operations. You should be able to add fractions and find some common denominators. You should be able to multiply fractions, subtract fractions, and that includes doing mixed numbers. So adding two mixed numbers, either doing it with improper fractions or the mixed number way, right? You should know how to do both of those. You should be able to problem solve with fractions, which is kind of almost exactly like activity 16. And that's really it. That's really everything. And then you got to be able to analyze some student work. So whatever problem I give you, you have to be able to look at it, be like, okay, did the student understand what was really happening here? And so on. Okay, well, that's it for the review, and I will see everyone next